Hey kiddos, this video is going to hopefully help you understand this thing you see here in Classroom called the Literary Devices document, how to set it up, and once you have it set up, how to use it as we have our classes on literary devices. So, okay, this is what Classroom looks like today in 2021 when I'm making this video. It's possible in the future that this assignment will look a little different on Classroom, but this video will still be useful to you, so you can ignore any small differences in what Classroom looks like. So attached to this assignment, we've got this document called My Literary Devices document, and on your screen it'll probably have your name in front of it. And then we've got Literary Devices instructions, and then we've got Finished Literary Devices example. So I'm going to open My Literary Devices document and also Literary Devices instructions. So My Literary Devices document, there's a place for the title, there's a place for the author, and then there are all these numbers. Let's see if I can make a split screen and put this on the left and the instructions on the right. So look over here on the right side. It says here, write or paste your poem's title, capitalize everything correctly, and put it in quote marks. Yeah. So you would write, if in my case, I would write Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, right? That's the poem I've been using as an example for you. And then for author, write or paste the name of your poem's author. I don't say capitalize it correctly, but I assume that goes without saying because we're big kids, right? We're in 6th grade. We know how to do this. Now, here it says paste the text of your poem a line at a time. Now, line is in bold because some kids will make the mistake of pasting the poem a sentence at a time. That's because we had that assignment where you broke your poem into sentences, right? But we're not going to do that. We're going to paste it a line at a time. And what is a line of a poem? It starts on the left and it goes until the writer hits enter. So here's my poem. So the first line of my poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, is whose woods these are, I think I know. Starts on the left, and then Robert Frost hit enter over here on the right. So I could Control C, copy that, and then Control V, paste it. Or I could do Control Shift V and paste it without the formatting. Now, second line is just this. It ends when the author hits enter. You may notice that the second sentence is this whole thing. This second sentence of my poem doesn't end until right here. So lines 2, 3, and 4 are all one sentence. But we're not pasting a sentence at a time, we're pasting a line at a time. So that's line 2, this is line 3, this is line 4, this is line 5. All right, and when you're all done doing this, in my case, it would look like this. The color coding we'll talk about in a minute, but the numbering will look just like this. Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. Then I hit enter because there's a space right there, right? My author put white space between these chunks. You remember we call a poem paragraph a stanza, a chunk of lines. So my author put white space between his stanzas, and that's what I did too. I just hit enter a couple times. The instructions say each line should have a number, add or delete line numbers as necessary, and add extra space between stanzas. So I added line numbers. I had to go all the way to 16. And if yours is short, you'll actually cut some of these numbers. And I also added extra space between my stanzas so that they look the same as they look in real life in the original poem. If you're wondering why we are going to number the lines of the poem, it's because when we quote a poem, we use line numbers, not page numbers. you've written essays where you have to quote a novel, and when you do that, you probably remember that you refer to a page. You might say, on page 6, the narrator, blah, blah, blah. Or on page 72, the author, blah, blah, blah. You can't do that on a poem. The reason is it would all be page 1 because most poems are less than a page. On page 1, Frost writes, later on page 1, Frost said, right? That's crazy. So instead of doing page number, we do line number. In line 1, Frost writes. In line 5, Frost writes. In line 9, the speaker says. And in order to make that easy for you, I'm just telling you right now to number your lines. That way, in the future, when I ask you to quote your poem, you don't have to go count. You don't have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You've already got it numbered. So that's why I'm telling you to do that here.